Welcome back, YouTube. Been listening today to Survival Theory, a preparedness guide by Jonathan Hollerman, something like that. It's only available on Audible. Been listening while I've been bush hogging off one of the farms. Good book, by the way. It goes into a lot of detail, a lot of things you may, a lot of practical information in there. What doing a grid down situation, invasion, just multiple scenarios. And although this is not financial advice, this is just education, entertainment purposes only. But, if you're building all of your wealth online, and we all have significant parts of our wealth stored online, and, online banking, online, in the stock market, if the stock market closes, what's going to happen to all that? Will the company still send you dividend payments every month? But they don't know where you are. What will happen to those funds? What will happen to that money? Any part of a significant wealth plan needs to be well-rounded. Well-rounded. What I mean by that, excuse me. What I mean by that is, you can't, if you have all your wealth in gold bullion, how are you going to move that? Or if you have all your wealth in silver, how are you going to move that? Or if you have it all in crypto and the grid goes down, you went from being a millionaire to virtually being broke in an instant. Or the stock market. All your money's in the stock market. Having a destination, a place to go, having some of your wealth stored there, the dollar is eventually going to collapse. We know it. Whether it's Bitcoin or whatever takes over, who knows? Or probably the Fed coin. That's what is being pushed by some. It's like on Coinbase. It's not the Fed coin there, but that's what essentially they're calling it. But there is a U.S. coin, I think, on there, or that's U.S. dollars. I don't know, but it looks like a U.S. coin. I could be wrong on that. Don't quote me on that. It may be just transferring your crypto back to U.S. dollars. I don't know. But anyway, if you have all your money tied up in that, and you've not made preparations for your family, if you haven't, got some food stores, protection, and a safe place to go, this is a great book for you to listen to help you get prepared. Look at what's happened with COVID. Look at the measures that they're implementing. They're going to start sending around people door to door and violate your HIPAA, our HIPAA laws, our HIPAA rights, our rights to privacy. They're going to start violating that. Who knows what kind of situation we're going to face in the future where we will need to have a place to bug out to be protected, to be safe. This is an excellent book that goes into a lot of things. I wouldn't say it's extremely thorough, but it seems like a good guide to get started. It kind of tells you the things that you never think about. You don't need like one all-in-all bug-out bag, is what a lot of people say. And one of the things he goes into is how you need like 3 or 4 bags. You need a get home bag. You need that's the bag you keep in your car, traveling to and from work, that has like tennis shoes, your pistol, extra ammo, light snacks or food to go, wipes, maybe a flashlight, this, that, or the other, extra change of underwear, undershirt, or whatever, to help you get home. And you don't need to weigh it down with having a bunch of other things. And then it has another one, what he calls an actual bug out bag, where you're actually going to be bugging out for 3 or 4 days, 2 or 3 days or whatever, where you have different supplies in that bag. Excuse me. And then he talks about having another bag for like, say you're out protecting your property, you're out on watch or whatever, you have a bag for that. And then you have like another bag for like infiltrating or attack, to like, I guess whatever, say if you was trying to sneak out and do like reconnaissance, or find extra food or whatever it is that you might be doing. You had a bag for that. And then you had like the lone wolf bag. Some people think, I'm going to be Johnny Rambo, I'm going to do this, that, or the other. And they just head down through and do all that kind of stuff, and think they're going to just bug out and be done with it. But that's for each and every one situation. That's something I never heard before. And when I was putting together the twins bug out bags, we planned for like 3 or 4 days, but I never thought about them having a preparedness bag for them to keep in their vehicle, for when the grid goes down or what have you. I never thought about that. That's oversight on my part. So it makes you think about things that you didn't really think about. He also tells you not to count on these food places getting the calories, caloric intake correct. That you need to use your BMI and stuff like that. Go off your BMI and look at, having to be very active, because you're going to be out doing things like, chopping wood, hunting, gardening, stuff that you may not normally do. So you need to have a high enough calorie intake that you're not running out of energy in these kind of situations. There's a difference in surviving and thriving. One thing about in a grid down situation, nobody's going to be trading gold for food. You're not going to give up food for gold. You might trade food for ammo. Say if you have ammo that you don't need or whatever, you might be able to trade with your neighbors something, food, ammo for food, or batteries or something like that, or coffee for food. But you're not going to be trading gold or silver or stock options for food. And when your neighbor's hungry, he's watching his child starve to death, and he thinks that you have food, he's gonna, if he can't beg that food out of you and then eat you out of house and home, he's going to he's just going to kill you, take it. And then you're going to be left in a position where, okay, am I going to kill my neighbor? Am I going to then turn and kill his wife and child? Or am I going to bring them into us? Or are they going to be turncoats in because I had to kill their husband? She gonna cooperate? Or is that child going to grow up and take revenge because I had to kill his father because he was attacking us. There's a whole lot of situations there to think about. He makes you think about it, doing what's necessary. So the reason for building wealth is to protect your family. Protect your family in the long run. Protect your family in the short run. Just to protect your family all the way around. Also, you need to think about what that's going to consist of. Should you divert part of your money that you're using to grow wealth and purchase a cabin somewhere in the middle of nowhere where you can, far away from people and cities, put you out a big enough garden and all the things you need? Do you need to go into it with members of your family or your best friends or co-workers or what, so that you have enough people to help you protect that? Because you're going to have to sleep sometimes, you're going to have to work sometimes, so you're not going to be able to do everything all the time. You're not going to be able to stay up all night guarding your family and keep people from sneaking in on you and killing you and taking your food, and get up and work all day long to prepare the stuff during the day for the stuff that you have to do. It just ain't going to happen. You can't do it. You might do it for a couple of days, but after that you're going to be dead tired. But he goes into a lot of things, that you may not have thought about. Now let's, should you put everything you have into preparing? Well, I don't know. We've seen a whole lot of stuff happen with the you know what I mean? Seen a lot of things change, a lot of things take place that I, for one, would have never thought would have taken place or happened. Not in America. There are some places it's freer, like Florida and Texas. They've not had the impact, having Democrat governors and stuff that's, just bought right into everything, hook, line, and sinker. And I know that it's a two-party system for a dog and pony show. I know why it's a two-party system. It's a two-party system because, they got to give you the good and the bad, the duality, to make you think that they're not both on the same side when they really are. In some aspects, some of them may not be. DeSantis may not be one of them. Trump, I'll make a lot of people mad, most assuredly done a lot of good things for America, but I think he was one of them. But I think he truly loved America and tried to do what was better for America, even by going along with some of their plans. Any president says he's going to call up, soldiers, put U.S. soldiers on our streets and go door to door and forcibly inoculating us with an experimental magic potion. They don't have your best interest at heart. I'm sorry, they don't. You can think all they do or whatever. If you think they produced be more than 7 billion, be like 14 billion doses of this magic potion, in less than a year, and did all their trials and all that kind of stuff in less than a year, to roll it out. They didn't have all this stuff in the works prior to that. You're kidding yourself. And part of the reason why they leaked the stuff about Fauci, taking the patent or taking the formula or whatever to China before it was released, That's got to do with, their magic says that they have to tell the people what they're doing before they do it. And that makes the ritual or whatever it is that much stronger. Something to do with all this black magic bull malarkey. I don't really understand it all myself. But if you notice, every time they do something, they make sure there's like they tell the people first, or they let it come out. They gotta put a little bit of what they're gonna do or the truth out there to everybody. Some say it's so it makes their magic ritual stronger or whatever. I have no idea. I think they're all Looney Tunes, and I think the best way to hide something is hide it in plain sight. So if you hide something in plain sight, a lot of times it's easier overlooked. So I think that's part of it. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. The main thing is that being prepared, maybe part of your wealth plan should be preparedness. Maybe it should be looking for ways to protect your family if money's worthless. So you don't have all your money in crypto, you have it all in US dollars, and the dollar completely collapses, which we know it's going to. I mean, it's going. We've discussed in other videos, how we're on a similar track to the Caracas stock market bubble and crash. Excuse me. So we're following them. Where we're at today was 33 years before the Caracas. If we go exactly like the Caracas market did, we're 33 years away from total collapse, total economic destruction. Just grocery stores completely empty and everything like that. That's going to happen, or could happen. So 33 years, I'm going to be well into my 70s. I'll be nearly 80 if I'm even alive by then. So if it takes us 30-something years, you might not be able to prepare some for that. But with all this stuff about stealing property rights and everything else, by 2030, look out there. It's real. I don't know. They say it's lies. A lot of people are saying it's lies that we're buying into. But a lot of things that they're setting up is ways that they can steal our property from us. Exuberant taxes. If you have to pay 50% taxes on your capital gains in the stock market, you'll never be able to sell them. And the same thing is, if you have a property and say you bought it in the 1950s or 60s, I think one of the big farms was bought in the 1950s. Imagine the money the amount of money that farm has appreciated over all these years. It will be, person has to pay capital gains on that. You're looking at 80% versus, 40, death tax is like 47.7% right now. So if you have to pay that, and then you have to pay capital gains on the appreciation of that property from the time it was bought, you're looking at more like 80% taxes on that property. And if you can't pay it, the government just takes it away from you. They just confiscate it. And that is some scary crap going on with our government. If you can run for Congress, you're a good, decent person, you ought to consider running for Congress. You ought to get in there in the Senate or whatever. Or try to get in local levels, anywhere you can. You really need to be positioning yourself in a way to try to protect your property rights and your family. Because what even if you do prepare a place way out in the middle of nowhere and you don't even own it? What if the bank comes in, or not the bank, but the government comes in and takes it away from you? You know, where are you going to go then? Basically, they're leaving us nowhere to run except for the FEMA camps. That's another reason why a person really, really needs to build wealth, because wealth will give you a sense of security in those situations. You know, you might have a place prepared for you, and you might have a team, a tactical ops team that you hire, that you provide food for and everything else, and you take them with you, with your family and friends, to your retreat. Or if you have several $1 million and you can invest in one of these, silo retreats where you have that kind of protection, that's another alternative. But the thing is, preparing yourself for what we know is coming in the end times, the beheading of the Christians, you got the total destruction. The Pope is doing his best to destroy the Catholic Church right now. And there's probably as many of us Baptists or Protestants as what they are Catholics. I'm guessing. I don't know the actual numbers. But at one time, Christianity outnumbered Islam and every other religion out there. But, they're doing their best to kind of do away with that. And if we don't protect our religious freedoms, and if we don't try to take this world back for Christ and for things that are good, we're going to see some very, very bad and hard times for ourselves and for our children. And I think that this right here is a good, it's not really greatly in depth, but it's a good starter book before you start thinking about some of these things. He really goes into how fragile our system is. And that's something that a lot of people really don't comprehend, is how fragile our system is. I think more people have an idea now after the great toilet paper fiasco. But a lot of that was bullcrap, probably. I don't know about other places, but the job that I do work outside of being CEO of my holding company is I work in a milk place, a dairy place, a place that produces milk for 7 states. And during COVID, I was one loading the trucks on third shift, myself, just me, putting them on the trailers. And I know what orders went to where. And this is honest goodness truth. You can believe me or not, but our coolers were sitting full. We had no way of moving any milk out. We couldn't hardly even walk, except for walking on the transport chains that transport product throughout the plant. And generally, a load of Walmart milk is like 1,300 cases, and that'll divide that up between 2 or 3 stores. And during COVID, you go in the store and they've got signs up saying, 1 gallon per family. Just 1 gallon per family, not more than that. I got 2 teenage boys. A lot of times they'll drink 2-3 gallons a week, easy. And you could always go back in and get your extra gallon. That's not the point. The point is, they would order 400 cases for 3 Walmart stores. When one store was almost getting that much on a every other day basis. And it was an agenda. We had up to 12 tanker trucks at a time sitting on our compound waiting to empty, but no place to empty into because our storage tanks for processing were full. Excuse me. They were completely full. So we had up to 12 tanker trucks sitting there on the compound waiting to dump. And I don't know this personally, but rumored that some of the dairy farms was having to dump it out on the ground, out in their fields, because we couldn't pick it up. They obviously didn't fill us in on this because our coolers was sitting full. I mean, plumb full, you know. So, you know, the company I'm blessed to work for, you know, to help provide insurance and support my family while I'm growing my holding company and this YouTube channel and our podcast. You know, they obviously were not in on it because they were going business as usual. But the stores themselves cut the loads, and then they, you know, were trying to limit the amount of milk going out per family. So it was all planned. You know, a lot of people say, "Oh no, it wasn't planned. It really happened." No, it was obviously planned and implemented through certain stores or whatever. I don't know. I know Kellogg's was having similar issues, but you know, 16-hour shifts and everything else. But we don't know what they have in store. And I'm not saying the government's evil and they're out to get us. Not the government as a whole. I don't think so. But there are elements that are obviously elitist or Satanist or whatever they are that have their own agenda in mind, and they could absolutely care less about the American people. And the only way for us to combat that is that everybody that possibly can, that's a good person, get out there and run for Congress, run for Senate, run for county dog catcher. I don't care. But if we're going to protect our wealth, I mean, if they take our freedoms away, they'll take our wealth with it. So part of growing your wealth and protecting your wealth, some part of that has to be either supporting your neighbor for Congress or county commissioner or county judge or magistrate or whatever, you know. Part of that wealth plan has got to go towards politics if you're going to protect yourself and your family. And maybe more than just protecting your wealth and your property, it may even come down to protecting your life. But anyway, that's it for today. My nose is itching. Must be somebody coming to see me. Thanks for liking. Thanks for subscribing. Hey, listen to Your Wealth Plan podcast on Google, Spotify, Breaker, RadioPublic, and PocketCasts. We have a new episode up talking about Snowball, the Alice Schroeder story, talking about Alice Schroeder wrote it, talking about Warren Buffett. Please subscribe to the podcast. We're listener supported. We appreciate everybody tuning in, listening, and thank you for your time. God bless you.